Hey guys, hope you're doing good. I've made this video to show how I achieved this hairstyle. It's a sew-in with a centre part and leave out, and I've also tried my hardest to blend my own relaxed hair with the weave. So if you want to see how I did this, just keep on watching. The hair that I'm using today is virgin Brazilian hair, and it's by Nicolle Boutique. I'll link it all down below. I've got 4 bundles. I've got a 12-inch, a 14-inch, a 16-inch and an 18-inch. So that's what it looks like. I've played around with it a bit, but that's pretty much what it looks like out of the pack. I'm really excited for this hairstyle because usually when I've done my curly hairs, I've always used synthetic hair. But yeah, this should be fun because obviously you can do more with this kind of hair. I can dye it if I get a bit bored after a while, things like that. So yes, let us begin. So first things first, I'm going to separate the parts that I'm leaving out. Please ignore the length of my hair. I went through some stuff, I had to cut it off. But yeah, like I said, I'm having a middle parting, so I'm leaving that out. And also I'm going to leave my edges out. I don't sew my edges up anymore because they're really sensitive and they're already kind of broke from past hairstyles, so I'm not going to take any risk. So I'm going to go ahead and cane row this bit and the side just to keep it out of the way when I'm actually plaiting the rest of my hair. There you go. As you can see, it's nothing neat or fancy in the slides. It's literally just to keep the hair out of the way while I plait the rest. I'm just going to do my camera straight back. I'm going to do them really big because one, I'm going to be using a weaving net, so it really doesn't matter about, you know, which direction the plaits are going in or how small they are. And also because it's a curly hair and it's going to be really big, there's no need to make the cameras really thin or skinny or close together because my hair's going to be big anyway. So if anything, I would prefer for the cameras to be bigger because then there's more volume without more weave. Oh, I almost forgot. What I do though is that I do a perimeter plait before I do the ones going back, just so that there's just something solid there for when I sew the final tracks on, because I want them to fall in this way, if that makes sense. I'm just going to be using some normal braiding extensions to reinforce the cameras. Usually I use is it cotton, like the really thick cotton, because it's easier, it's not as messy, and also it doesn't itch. That's the thing with sometimes this sort of hair, it kind of itches. Not me, but most people have said, and so I usually use cotton, but I don't have any, so I'm just using what I've got, which is this Expressions. You can get this for like £1 something in any hair shop. So these are like the messiest cameras ever, but like I said, I'm going to put a net, so there's really no point in even trying to, you know, make the lines straight, make the cameras neat, whatever. Just do it as quick as possible and the net will just take care of the rest. So I'm just going to go ahead and sew the ends of the plaits. So what I do when I'm cameroing them is that I always grab the end of the previous camera so they all come together like this. And then I'm just going to sew it together. The net that I use is just this one. It says weaving net and it's £1.99. I'll show you what it looks like. And it's just like a big sheet of net really. And then what you do is you just put it on like this, and I just sew around the perimeter, And then after that I cut out this section where my leave out's going to be left out. With the net, you don't really have to worry about sewing it down too securely or too tight or doing too many loops, because once you start sewing on the weave, it's going to secure anyway. So I'm just going to do a few quick loops with the thread just to keep it in place. Okay, so now that bit is out of the way, I'm just going to go ahead and start sewing the weft. Obviously I put the longest one at the back, so the 18 inch is going to go at the bottom, and keep going through the packs, and the 12 inch will stay at the top. That way it's more, you know. Also, another thing I never do, well I try not to do, is to cut the wefts, because then, you know, it kind of ruins the hair bit and it causes shedding. So as much as possible I want to try not to cut the wefts. When you get towards the top, sometimes it can get a bit difficult because you don't want it to look too bumpy, but again, because this is a curly hair, that might not be a problem, but I'll see how it goes when I get to the top. So initially this hair, there's no shedding at all, which is obviously a good thing. If it was shedding as soon as I got it, that would be a problem, but it seems to be of good quality. Another tip, when you loop it through, rather than just pulling it out, what I do is when I loop it through, I'll take it and I'll put it back through the loop that I've just created, and that way it secures it as a knot. So rather than looping like this, you sew and then you loop and knot, if that makes sense. That way if the string ever cuts or something, then the whole weft is not going to just unravel.